Hey guys, so the Computex spam continues as we'll now look at the Lian Li booth. I've got a pretty cool ITX case to show you guys, as well as some larger mid-tower case offerings too. But first, a quick thanks to MSI for making this Computex trip possible. You can check out their latest range of Intel-based motherboards via the link in the description. Okay, now I know what you were thinking, but this is not an Ncase M1 XL. This is the Lian Li TU150, but that's pretty much what it might as well be. It shares a ton of design language and aesthetic similarities with the Ncase M1, although it is a bit larger. I don't have exact measurements for you guys, but I'd estimate this to be roughly a 16 to 17 liter case. One thing that is totally different from the Ncase M1 though is the price, which is roughly half. The TU150 will go on sale in the coming months for around $109 US. So it is a completely aluminium construction which has nice brushed panels. Black is the only color available at the moment, but they said they are exploring silver as an option as well. I told them that silver personally is what I would be interested in, so let them know in the comments if you would like to see this available in silver as well. You've got a little handle at the top for easier transportation, and I/O can be found at the top of the case as well. We've got 3 USB 3 ports, with one of those being Type-C. You also get a full tempered glass side panel that secures just with a thumb screw at the rear, so you're getting fully uninterrupted glass. This glass panel does come at the cost of a lower ventilation though, so we will talk about that in just a minute. Now, taking a look at the interior, that's where things get really interesting. The biggest thing that I want to point out here is the possibilities for air cooling, seeing as the spec here reads a max CPU cooler height of 172 millimeters. That means that you could potentially run Noctua's NHD15 in this thing, making for an insanely powerful air-cooled ITX system. Now, I know a lot of you guys have been asking me for ITX case recommendations that can actually fit those massive heat sinks and coolers, so this might be one to keep your eyes on. If you do prefer liquid cooling though, the TU150 will support 2 120mm AIOs, one directly at the front of the case and one right at the back. This means that you could potentially liquid cool both the CPU and GPU with 120mm AIOs, and you could probably run those both in push-pull as well. Now, the case does lack proper ventilation. Both side panels are blocked, the top panel is also blocked, and so the only options for pulling air into the case are through these small vents through the front panel and then exhausting that out the back. Now, the power supply will be mounted at the top of the case towards the front, and it looks like SFX-L is supported, and also on the roof of the case you could possibly fit a 2.5 inch or 3.5 inch drive. There's also another 2.5 inch drive slot behind the GPU. 3 slot graphics cards seem to be supported no problem, although I'm not sure what can be mounted underneath the graphics card if you're just using 2 slots. The price point of $109 is probably the most interesting spec here for the TU150. I know a lot of you are looking at small form factor cases with a premium feel, but without paying so much, so hopefully that thermal performance is great too. Moving on, we have the Lian Li Odyssey X. This is a very large mid-tower case that can be used either in the traditional horizontal layout or as a vertical tower. The horizontal layout is what they're calling the performance mode, as it supposedly allows for additional radiator clearance, as here you can see there's a ton of room and clearance in front of the GPU and also above the motherboard. Not sure how many of you will be interested in this one, seeing as it is pretty massive, but let me know if you'd like to see a review in the comments down below. And here we have a nice refresh of the very popular O11 case, which in my opinion is one of the best mid-tower cases on the market currently. So this is the O11 Dynamic XL. They haven't changed much because they didn't really need to. They said that one of the main requests that they were getting was to make an O11 with slightly better GPU and top mounted radiator clearances, so they've done exactly that, and they've added additional depth, height and length to the popular O11. The bottom mounted radiator and fans are also now mounted to a removable bracket, whereas previously the case did have to be flipped on its side. Also, they've added 2 USB ports to the bottom for easy access. So the TU150 was my personal favorite here from Lian Li, but I think some of you guys will be interested in that O11 Dynamic XL as well. For a massive eATX water-cooled system, that case could be a real nice fit. As always guys, a huge thanks for watching. Consider subscribing down below if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next one.